You ever hear about the one thing, the one solution answer, the one quick fix you need to do to have a perfect life? Well, today I want to teach you about the one thing that will destroy your life. The one thing that will end your relationships with people. Hi, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and welcome to My 5 Minds. This is your user's manual to your brain to help you get more, be more, and feel better about your life. Today I want to focus on the one thing you cannot let yourself do, because if you go there, you're toast. And your relationships with people, toast. It can't happen, it won't work. And that is assuming unlove. Now again, as always, on My 5 Minds, we always want to look at the big picture. We want to look at what's happening inside of your brain that's getting you the results you don't want. And so you can change those patterns to get the results you need and you're looking for. So let's take a quick peek of what happens inside of your brain. And again, we're going to use one of our mind maps to help you understand what's the process. So I'm going to start you off with a story of Brian and Betty. All right? Okay, that's not really their names. You know that. I know that. But anyway, Brian and Betty. They come in. I say, how you guys doing? Do my normal check-in. And it was a crap week. Fighting, conflict, tension. They are back at ground zero. Last couple of weeks, they've been getting together. They've been connecting more, feeling more love, feeling more of a relationship. And this week, man, they're sitting on different sides of the couch. Walls are back up, and you can feel the tension in the room. He's mad, she's mad, and this has not been a good week for them. So I'm saying, what's going on? What's happening? What got us here? And Brian right away starts in, and he says, I just can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with all this anger, frustration. I'm done. Now, I love it when I ask a couple what's going on, and they give me these incredibly vague answers. Did you understand anything they just said? I didn't. I have no idea what's happening. Do I know he's unhappy? Yes. Do I know what's happening? No. So I have to dial it back. Okay. You're unhappy, you're upset, you're frustrated, you're feeling hurt, clearly. What's going on? And so Brian begins to tell me a story. And the story is that he was sharing some details about picking up his kids. He has kids from another marriage. He has to go pick them up. They're going to go do some fun events, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's sharing what's going on with that week's activities. And his wife, Betty, is returning a text or looking at an email or whatever it is she's doing. She's distracted and preoccupied. He sees that and he's like, what? What is going on here? And he loses it. Now, to him, that just seemed obvious. He was sharing, she was on the phone. Boom! Of course, he's a 10. It just makes total sense to him. But if it's you and me stepping back a little bit, does it make sense? Is that a 10? Was it appropriate? Was it good? Was it positive? Was it useful for her to be on the phone while he's talking? Probably not. Probably a 1, probably 2. But he's reacting with a 10. And he can't see it. So what do we have to do? We got to break this down and help look at what's happening. Well, as you know, it all goes back to the brain. And what we got to see is what's happening inside of this system. I call it systems because that's what it is. It's about your psychology and how it all works together within your brain. So I think the problem, and we're going to pull out our mind map and map this out for you, but I think the problem starts with Leo. Leo is your thinking brain. Leo is logic. Leo analyzes things. Leo looks at things. And so Leo is seeing this behavior with Betty. She's on the phone. And so Leo has to make sense of that behavior. So Leo begins to look at that behavior and come up with ideas, suggestions, possibilities. That's what Leo does. He's a thinker. He's going to analyze this and come up with an hypothesis. Well, he runs through a couple of hypotheses, and then all of a sudden he hits one. And that one hypothesis lights up Emma. Emma is the emotional mind. Emma becomes supercharged. And as Emma becomes supercharged, he floods. He floods with all kinds of cortisol, stress hormones, adrenals, adrenaline. He is totally flooding. Leo notices all that, sees all that happening, and he thinks, bingo, that's the answer. That's what's going on. And really what's happening is that Emma's reacting to Leo's thinking, and that reaction is flooding B. B is then getting upset into fight or flight mode. And then Leo sees that as a confirmation. Is it a really confirmation of what's happening? Is it a confirmation of truth? No, it is not. But unfortunately, one of the flaws of our brain is that truth is based on firepower. How many neurons in your brain are firing off around a certain idea? The more firepower there is around an idea, the more you're going to believe it. The more it's going to seem true. So what was the idea? What was the hypothesis that Leo came up with? She doesn't love me. She doesn't care. She's looking at her phone. That's more important. Whatever that is more important than I am. As soon as he had that thought, Emma reacted. Wouldn't you react? If you believe someone didn't love you, if you believe someone you love very deeply didn't love you back, how would you react to that? How would your emotional brain respond? Of course, it's going to get hurt. And that's what he did. He got butt hurt. And then he reacted with his primitive base brain into a fight or flight response. For him, it's fight. As he goes into a fight mode, he gets his guard up, he starts attacking her. Of course, what is she going to do? What's Betty going to do? What's anybody going to do when they're being attacked? She goes into flight mode. She shuts up. She puts up a wall. She shuts down. What is Brian doing now? Brian's seeing that, shutting down the wall, the distance. Confirmation. She doesn't love me. And his belief system is just reinforced over and over again. And now they're in this awful, terrible, no good situation where they can't even talk or communicate. How do we walk that back? What we need to do is we need to bring in your higher thinking brain. Connie is what I call her. It's your consciousness. Connie has this amazing ability. When you are fully conscious, present, or what we love to call mindful, you're able to step out of a situation, see it, observe it without judgment. You're able to see things for what they are. Good or bad, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. And that's what he needs to do, is he needs to step into his conscious mind right now, take a breath, relax, shut down the nervous system that's been activated, his central peripheral nervous system that is now in the sympathetic arousal. And he needs to relax it and calm himself down. By doing that, he's going to get himself up into a higher place and to be able to take a step back and look at what's happening. What's happening? What's really happening? What is the truth of what's happening? Well, Leo came up with an idea. Was it right? Was it wrong? We don't know. We don't know. We never checked it out. We never asked. We never explored that. We just thought it. And the minute we thought it, or Leo thought it, Emma reacted to it. But is it true? I don't know. Now here's the funny part. If in that moment, he's in his reactive mind and flooded, and he asks her, you don't, or accuses her, you don't love me, what is she going to say? She's going to say the truth. She's going to say the obvious. That's stupid. Of course I love you. And what's he going to do? He's not going to believe her because he's flooded and he's in his fight mode. And it's just going to reinforce the cycle. So again, what he needs to do is step out, take a breath, relax, get into his higher thinking brain, and look at what's really going on here. She was on the phone. Scale to 1 to 10, it was a 1. Did it bother him? Sure. But what kicked his butt, what got him focused, is this assumption. And this is where you break your relationships. With anybody and everybody, you assume unlove. Once your brain does that, once Leo assumes unlove, everything is gone. Everything is toasted. There's no recovery from this, ever. He or she or anybody else in your life could reassure you 1,000 times over. Well, of course I love you. I'm not rejecting you. I'm not pushing you away. I was on the phone. If we can get out of that mindset, take that one assumption, that one hypothesis, and take it off the table, you're going to have a relationship. You're going to have so much more success in your relationships. Is your partner stupid? Can be. Does your partner make poor choices? They certainly can. Does other people in your life do things that hurt your feelings? Absolutely. Sometimes things miscommunicated. Yeah. Or sometimes things misunderstood. Yeah. All of those things are true. But we've got to take off the table the assumption that because that happened, whatever that is, they don't love me. Because when you assume that, you're in a fight or flight mode that's going to shut everything else off. Now, I don't know if all of you are spiritual or religious or whatever you believe, because I want to be open to whatever you believe, because that's your belief. But I can remember a picture, a story of a man who was unfairly crucified, unfairly being killed, beaten, tortured. And his response to all of that was what? His response was, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That was his assumption. His assumption was they were stupid. His assumption they were ignorant. His assumption was they were unaware of what they were truly doing to him. Did they know they were beating him? Did they know they were torturing him? Did they know they were killing him? Sure. But his assumption was not unlove. His assumption was ignorance. They just don't have a clue. They don't have any idea who I am or what they're doing really. And because he assumed that, he could allow himself to continue to love even when he's being tortured and killed. Wouldn't you like to do that in your life? Wouldn't you like to always assume love and always be happy and always full of joy, no matter what the people around us do? Well, the only way you're going to do that is by assuming love. So try it this week. Try it today. Always assume love in your relationships. If you like this video, again, I want you to like it. If you want to learn more about My 5 Minds and how this system works, subscribe. Again, I'm Brett, your favorite shrink, and thanks again for watching My 5 Minds. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.